All right, folks, good morning. All right, let's get started here. So, for today, August the 15th, Thursday, we have the following. At 8:30 a.m. Eastern, we had core retail sales month over month, which came in stronger than expected. We had retail sales month over month, which came in stronger than expected. We had unemployment claims, which came in lower than expected. We had the Empire State Manufacturing Index, which came in better than expected. The Philly Fed Manufacturing Index came in worse than expected. Import prices month over month came in as expected. So far, mostly positive news, better than expected news for the most part. At 9:10 a.m. Eastern, we'll have FOMC member Muslim speaking. At 9:15 a.m., we'll have capacity utilization rate and industrial production month over month. None of these are important reports. At 10 a.m., we'll have business inventories month over month and NAHB housing market index again, not important. Throughout the day, we'll have mortgage delinquencies, but again, that's not an important result or report. And then at 1:10 p.m., we'll have FOMC member Harker speaking. It's not expected to have a significant impact. And that's it. So basically, we'll have a bunch of smaller reports coming out throughout the day, and we'll have FOMC members speaking throughout the day. But nothing that's expected to have a significant impact, but we'll see. Okay, so first report again after the market opens will be at 10 o'clock Eastern. All right, let's take a look at the NASDAQ. So, pretty clearly here, the NASDAQ is moving up. That's a very sharp trajectory up off of that news. So, looks like the market liked that news a lot. So we can see a pretty sharp incline here in the price of the NASDAQ. Yesterday, however, was very neutral, very sideways action. So looking at so it does seem like that, I mentioned this before, it does seem like the market is focused more on the actual economic data now than before. Previously, it looks like they were focused more on how the economic data will move the Fed, but I think at this point, they've given up on anticipating when the Fed might lower rates. I guess they just kind of assume they will later this year, and essentially it looks like the markets are just focusing now on the actual impact of the economic data. So we'll see how long this apparent shift in opinion and focus lasts, but that's the way it seems so far. All right, that being said, let's take a quick look here at which stocks were moving yesterday. For yesterday, first up, we had Starbucks as a bearish opportunity, was able to reach target number 2 to the downside of 92.33 and then traveled significantly below that. We had AMD, which was a bearish opportunity. It did not reach its target number 2 to the downside of 137.48, but it did travel all the way down to 137.64, so very close. Next up is Tesla. Now, Tesla was eventually able to reach its target number 2 to the downside of 199.48, but we should have been out of it earlier when it went down to about 199.81. Shortly after that, we should have exited since it looked like it bottomed out. And then lastly, we have INTC, which was bearish. It was able to go about 3/4 of the way to its target number 2 to the downside, but never reached it and sharply reversed. So not a great opportunity. Maybe a tiny profit could have been made, but it was able to trade down to 1979. Its target number 2 to the downside was 1969. Okay. All right, so let's take a look at the pre-market, see what's moving right now, if anything. I do see several things on my list, so let's take a look. AISP is first, up 28%, 4.8 million shares is at least $1 per share. So we'll go ahead and add that to our pre-market watch list for stocks. Again, the symbol is AISP. Next up, we have Amazon up sharply, but only up 2.85%, but still, that's a pretty good move. I believe mostly due to the economic data. So just keeping that in mind. Not going to put that on the list since it doesn't actually qualify. Next up is CING. Presently, that's up 120, let's say 124% on 15.4 million shares. It's at least $1 per share, so we'll go ahead and add that to the pre-market watch list as well, CING. Next up, we have GOVX, which is presently up 19% on about 5.3 million shares. It's at least $1 per share. Definitely add that GOVX to the pre-market watch list. Next up, we have GRAB, which is presently down just around 6%. 1.5 million shares is at least $1 per share. It is fluctuating a bit, so I'm going to put that on the list, but obviously this may not be qualified by the time we take a look at it later today. Next up, we have SIGA, which is presently down about 36%, 2 million shares traded. It's at least $1 per share, so we'll go ahead and add that to our pre-market watch list, SIGA. Next up, we have SIRI, SIRI. Let's see if that qualifies. Up 6.53%, 2.1 million shares traded. It's at least $1 per share, all qualified there, so we'll go ahead and add SIRI to the pre-market watch list. And next up, we have WENA, which is presently not enough, only up 1%. So it was up more earlier, so we'll leave that off the list. Oh, nice. Nice, Jen. All right, folks. So if you see any other stocks that meet our 4 criteria, let me know in the chat. Here are the stocks we found so far. I'm pasting them right now in the chat. And if you see any others besides those, let me know in the chat. Okay, VSME. Yep, that's currently up 54%, 17.7 million shares, at least $1 per share. VSME is added. CYTO. That is presently up 27% plus on 8.2 million shares plus and at least $1 per share. We'll add that CYTO to the pre-market watch list. Next up is ARAY. That is up 21%, but the volume is too low, 494,000 shares, so I'll have to pass on that one. Other than that, it would have qualified. All right, sorry about that. Looks like we lost our connection for a second. So it lost the connection for a second, but it looks like I'm back now. So we've added VSME and CYTO. ARAY is not added since it doesn't have the right amount of volume. All right, folks. If you see anything else, let me know. Other than that, please be sure to like the video. See, we have 12 likes, more than 12 people watching. Please make sure to hit the like button. Greatly helps us with the YouTube algorithm. If you're watching right now or even later, please be sure to hit that like button. Greatly helps us with the YouTube algorithm. Also, go ahead and subscribe to our channel. That way you get notifications. We have Grab already, if I'm correct. Yeah, we already have Grab. All right. In that case, we'll go ahead and wrap up for this morning. For everyone as part of the coaching program, I'll see you there in 23 minutes. For everyone else, If you're watching this on a replay and you're not familiar with our company, check out fundertrading.com, our website. There is a link in the description of this video. Other than that, folks, have a great trading session, and I'll see you folks for tomorrow morning's pre-market pulse. Trade well. Take care.